Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
I'm much happier this week, Dan, I got to say. I feel pumped up.
I do not.
You don't feel pumped up?
Definitely not pumped up. No.
Pumped right up.
What, after a draw and a loss?
Yeah, yeah. I got low expectations.
I'm up a couple of notches from last time we recorded.
Pumped 2 notches.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it pumped up.
Not fully pumped.
No.
All right. Fair enough. City.
If I was before, if I was a completely popped balloon.
Yeah.
Now I'm one of those sort of like, barely inflated balloon that sort of got a little bit of air left in it.
Flaccid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. I feel, engorged.
Rock hard.
What? Because, a draw at home to Lincoln and then a defeat to Middlesbrough last night, but we gave a very good account of ourselves.
Yeah. We'll come on to the intricacies of everything, but, it's more the kind of like the fact that half the team's now injured again.
Yes, true.
That's like not filling.
Oh, that's what's deflated, yeah.
Yeah, well, and the fact that we haven't won anything.
Oh, yeah,
and only one of our players has scored. I mean, fair enough, we have scored 3 goals, but only one player has scored those goals.
So on Saturday, we were home to Lincoln City, who were 9th, I think, in the table at the time. We were flirting with the relegation zone, starting to.
I think 18th or something, weren't we, at the start? But, yeah, and...
Well, it was the same old, wasn't it? Lincoln went ahead.
It was.
And I thought,
It was a strongish lineup. Everyone expected to see... after the little break, and we expected to see Musquay starting, given that Cox had gone on loan and whatnot and all that, and they did. We went behind early again, and it's just like, oh, this is the same script.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it did end. It didn't end in the same manner as so many other games recently have.
Second half, we were definitely improved. And then...
Yeah, Aimson at fault for the goal, primarily, I'd say. A very simple header away, not dealt with, doesn't make any contact with it, and then it just sort of gets passed into the box and tapped in. No one reacts. So Aimson doesn't clear his lines when he quite easily could, and then nobody reacts, and they just pass it into the net, and it's at that point it was...
Oh, same old, wasn't
dark.
It, at that point?
Yeah,
it really was. Second half, we were better.
Worth saying, in the first half, there's a few chances. We have a few chances, which is what, after no shots on goal previously. So you have 2 headed chances for James Scott.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gilt-edged chances, and he does okay, but they're both, never really in danger of scoring, but we are in some positions to do so, and we have got on the end of some crosses, I suppose.
Which is a step up,
and there's a very nice bit of play from Aimson and from Aitchison and Dimitri Mitchell to combine to slot Admiral Musquay clean through on goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he just doesn't sort of get it out from his feet enough. It's disappointing to not hit the target.
Well, he kind of scoops it wide, doesn't he?
He's made the right run.
Yeah.
He hasn't played much football, and there's some encouraging. It's an encouraging sign, I suppose. He didn't have a good game.
No.
Musquay in that time. That's the best of what he did, really, because it's pretty much all he did. But anyway, so he did have chances in the first half, as opposed to 0 chances, previously.
Yeah. James Scott trying a few. For his kind of efforts from range-ish, wasn't he, as well? And yeah, it looked
bad. But we had, he had shots.
Yeah, which was something. Second half, improvement. He didn't change anything immediately, did he?
No, nothing happened. No changes at the break.
As always happens, the big bank's obviously a big factor in how City play. I don't know what we do without the big bank. If they, sometimes teams have a whole season without we had the same, didn't we? Without a certain stand there or whatever. it really just seems to inform how these lads will play, doesn't it? You think like, well, okay, it'll be all right because of the big bank.
Well, it hadn't done recently.
No, I know it hasn't done recently, but
yeah, and I suppose it's telling. It wasn't too much booing at half time. But I was thinking if we got to full time at 1-0 down and we lost that game 1-0, I think we would have heard about it.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
You know, I think we're getting towards the point where I would kind of, well, I might not join in just yet. I would kind of condone it. You know, so there's no changes. The changes came a little bit late.
They were on the hour mark, weren't they?
Aitchison got a knock, hadn't he?
Yes.
And we missed last night against Middlesbrough, but we're told he's probably be good for Wigan on Saturday.
Right.
And then Harry Kite, who was playing right wing back, came off for Harper. Yeah, and also Musgrave for Wiltshire, who looked better actually.
Yeah, he did.
Wiltshire, he looked.
Sharper.
We kind of see what he can do now, can't he? He just tries to dribble it to the byline and cut it back. That's kind of what he seems to do every single time. But it was effective, and it stretched them. And I mean, like I said, he did a lot more than Musgrave did in less time. You know, so
yeah. So it was with 10 minutes to go, wasn't it? We got the equaliser.
Yep, 10 minutes to go. It's again good work down the right hand side. Dimitri Mitchell.
Yep.
On his right foot, actually.
Yeah.
There's a really nice cross in. And James Trevitt.
Ryan Trevitt.
Who's James Trevitt?
I don't know.
Ryan Trevitt arriving in the box, heads it in, unmarked. So poor goal for them to concede, but, you know, a good one for... Well, we desperately needed it, didn't we? Not just for the point, but for just to score, you know?
Yeah. And lots of the possession we've had when we've been attacking has been the wings, and the wingers have been reluctant to make good balls. You know, they've panicked and not.
I think there's been a problem as well with that, that we haven't been getting people in the box.
No.
So even when there's an opportunity for, you know, Harper or Kite or Sweeney or whoever, Mitchell, to put a ball in, there's just no one in the box. And when there is, they're little guys, you know.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, you know, in the first half, James Scott had 2 headed chances, so that, you know, that was something. But and then there was a chance to win it for Dimitri Mitchell.
A couple of minutes to go.
And he, I mean, understandably kind of goes it alone and puts it just slightly wide of the post. Did have the option to square it to Scott. Probably would have been the better option, but, you know.
Yeah. So that was 1-1, which
and
obviously
then
is an
Reece
improvement.
Cole,
oh, yeah.
right at the end of the match, hobbles off, can't walk.
Yes.
And has since been seen on crutches, although we don't know quite how. No, we do know. 4 weeks he's out for.
Right. Okay. I mean, a point's obviously better. I'm going to say some obvious things. A point's better than a defeat, and to get a goal is better than not getting a goal.
We needed anything, really, didn't we? You know, it would have been nicer to have a more positive reaction to that, but at least we had a reaction, and I heard the phrase "stop the rot" quite a lot.
Yeah, well, that's true, isn't it? It's true. Because obviously, as we know, it's a perfectly good team.
Which is a big beat song by what they called Apollo 440.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it's called, but sure.
Is it not? Stop the rot.
What is the word?
I think it's rock.
It makes sense.
They could play that. What I would like, here's one for the media team.
Yeah.
Can we have... We've had the pop punk thing now, you know, every match. They fixed the PA.
Yes.
I don't know if we've mentioned
Crystal
that.
clear.
That's big news on
Bose
this podcast.
have come along and plumbed in a speaker.
Gulliford Hi-Fi have been summoned.
What an excellent reference. Yeah.
And they've sorted out, finally, the speaker system. So now we get blasted with these pop punk songs, which include Busted. Someone doing a pop punk cover of Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. The 1975. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, not my kind of thing, but a lot of people like that kind of stuff.
So what are you looking for?
Oh, I was just wondering whether we could now pivot to maybe a kind of whole big beat.
Oh, right.
You know.
Fatboy Slim, Chemical Brothers,
Yeah.
Left Field.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Why not?
Get sort of,
The wise guys.
The wise guys, yeah.
Yeah.
It gets the kind of crowd going, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't get the electronic dance music thing. The European dance music thing, they're like...
A lot of places do that. I prefer the pop punk over that.
Yeah. I was watching Milan-Napoli the other day.
They love it there at Napoli, don't they? The
They
dance
love it.
music.
It was terrible. Like, really good game. And then they
Italians having bad taste in music in the 21st century shock horror.
Yeah, all right, fair comment. But, like, you ever heard of Pavarotti, lads? Like, is he Italian?
Yes.
Anyway, get him involved. Because it was mad.
Rich history of music. Not denying the Italians
Yeah.
that. I just think in the modern era, they've really dropped off a cliff.
They have. Football, one of their high value items, ruined by mad dance music. Anyway, that's by the by. So you'd like to... I don't know what I'd like to hear is old-time folk.
That's not getting anyone pumped up. That's
No,
the
it'd be
worst
different.
music in existence.
Foster... What was he called? Foster and... Tell you what you don't get anymore, Dan, is adverts on the telly for compilation albums of hits of yesteryear sung by a folk duo.
No. I once bought a CD compilation as a present for my parents, aptly named Songs for Mum and Dad.
How did you know that was the right choice?
Can't remember what was on it. On the subject of European, well, not European, but I suppose it is, dance music.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, the lads who do the chants have been doing Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is a song by Bryan Adams.
Yes.
Although I suspect that those lads are more familiar with the DJ Sammy cover version. And they're doing it, baby, you're all that I want.
Yeah.
And then it goes, when you're lying here in my arms. And then, you know how they love doing the echo?
Yeah.
In between
my
lines.
arms.
And then when they say, my arms, with like this kind of like macho, kind of aggressive, kind of like shouty terrace sort of like tone.
Yeah.
But you're seeing... But the lyrics are my arms. I just find it so funny. And then the only difference is you're finding it hard to believe we're in Devon. Whatever. I'm not knocking the craft. I just find it funny
you're amused by that one.
when they shout my arms.
Fair enough.
And also, don't know. Stick the Bryan Adams version on through the tannoy.
Oh, nice. Foster and Allen are the folk duo I was thinking of.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're two beardos and they do covers of like Wannabe by the Spice Girls in a folk cover, but they do like 100 of them.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
You buy it on a 8 CD set.
Right.
Foster and Allen sing the hits.
I'll take Chaz and Dave any day of the week.
Okay.
Play some Chaz and Dave.
Play some Chaz and
They
Dave.
used to do pick the playlist, didn't they? But obviously they decided that they're going to pick the playlist.
Yeah, we have been having Status Quo, which I've enjoyed.
The Quo, fine. Yeah.
All right. What are we talking about? Football. So anyway.
Well, that's kind of the Lincoln game.
That's the Lincoln game done, isn't it?
You know?
Yeah.
Also, Caleb Watts is injured.
Yeah.
From that one, I think, like I said, Aitchison. Turns out, I think Tom Carroll must have got some kind of knock because he's wasn't in the squad last night.
Yeah, must have been a recent thing because he did his Guardian interview, didn't he, about the game? Did you see this?
Yeah, but was he talking about... I didn't read the whole thing. Was he talking about the game?
No, but that's why they'd interviewed him.
Yeah, but that's only because like they've gone like, there's...
Yeah, it was a rubbish week for games, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it still wasn't on TV anywhere. But, where it was? Everywhere in the whole world apart from the UK.
Yeah.
Just baffling, innit? Football, what a state. In every sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so that leads us to...
Ref was shit. Goes without saying now, doesn't it?
What, Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last night, however, Middlesbrough came to town. First time Exeter City have ever played them in a competitive fixture.
Yes.
Exciting.
One of the few remaining teams.
Well, no longer. They're off the list.
Michael Carrick.
Manager. He's not a legend, is he? But he's a high-performing Premier League player of recent years.
Very underrated player. But is he the sort of most rated, underrated player?
Perhaps he is.
Anyway, they've got... I don't know many of their players. They've got this guy... Dan Barlasser, who was at Rotherham.
Did they buy him off Rotherham this summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looked good, actually. He was good.
I mean, they all look good, didn't they?
Yeah, they started off and you're like, ooh, these guys are a good team, aren't they? Like they can like really play. we set up a little bit different. Obviously, some of the personnel was enforced. Some of it, I think, whatever it was, we got it. Caldwell got it spot on.
Yeah.
It was interesting playing against a team who were thinking, well, we're just better, so we're going to play, and weren't thinking, let's take advantage of how Exeter City play.
No.
Which is what we've seen a lot of recently. So we had almost none of the ball, something like 20-something% over the whole game. I liked it. I quite liked it.
Well, it's nice to watch a good game of football, isn't it?
Yeah. So what we had was Sweeney suspended also. So we had Ameson on the right of the three, with Fitzwater in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Kyle Taylor starting in midfield with Harry Kite, with Ryan Trevitt. Harry Kite slightly behind them.
Yep.
And then Jules, Mitchell, Scott, Musgrave.
Yeah.
Who was on the right? Was that Mitchell?
That was Mitchell, wasn't it?
And Jules on the other side.
Yeah.
I thought it was it worked really well.
Well,
I thought Harry Kite had a great game, and I think maybe we could do with someone in that role. I mean, it depends who you're playing, doesn't it? I mean, because if we do get in this situation, it was the right call.
Yeah.
Because we do have a team that give us the ball, then maybe that's not right for that other. But anyway, last night it was right.
Here's what happened that was different. Hartridge, don't know why, buoyed by something, was moving forward with the ball. I guess he was given a bit of space to do that. Also, pinging some absolutely lovely passes.
I mean, again,
as we know he can do sometimes.
It looked like Hartridge at times back to his best.
Yeah.
And you forget sometimes that early in the season and more often than not, that's the sort of player he is. He can kind of like drop the shoulder and absolutely leave an attacker for dead. He can ping passes. He can pick out the right passes. And then, but recently, all we've seen him do it is just, giving the ball away over and over again.
I wonder if that's the difference with not having Ameson in the middle. Like whether Fitzwater doesn't want it or whether there's just a different attitude.
Well, I think it was different last night, wasn't it? Because of the way we set up,
Yeah.
And it's completely different to how other teams have approached us playing last night. I think what I'd say is it's not ideal having Ameson playing on the right hand side. He can't do that. He's not a good enough passer to play in that position. But we did okay.
Well, more than okay at the start. 12 minutes in,
We scored a goal.
Kyle Taylor picks it up from the throw-in, straight in, hard to Trevitt, who uses some of the ball's momentum and his own running.
It's such a good finish.
Such a good finish.
In off the bottom of the bar.
Lovely,
Stunned, weren't they, Middlesbrough by that goal, I think.
They were.
Ryan Trevitt's superb, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He'll be a great... Because he's young, is he? 20?
Yeah.
He'll be a great player. But he's... Yeah, that was an excellent goal. And we continued to... We were well in the game, weren't we? They didn't really create that much. They had the ball, but they didn't really test Sinisalo first half.
No, we did well to... We were really focused and organised. Like I said, I thought Taylor and Kite buzzing about in the midfield was really good. Fitzwater was excellent first half as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitchell, unfortunately, we'll come on to it. So at half-time, we're 1-0 up, and we think, oh, this is good, isn't it? In the second half...
Well, Mitchell goes off in the first half. His injury's first half, isn't it?
Oh, so it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mitchell goes down in what kind of... It's really hard to see. Even from the replay and live, it looked like he dived.
Yes.
Caldwell says it's an impact injury. So somehow or other, he's taken a whack. It just looks it's hard to decipher kind of where it is.
Yeah.
Goes down, tries to play on for a minute.
Yeah, for a couple of times.
And then goes off and is later seen on crutches as well as Cole. Which is bad news for us, given the state of our attack at the moment.
Yeah.
He's been a kind of constant, decent performer.
Yeah.
Even when others haven't. Real shame. And then he's replaced by Vincent Harper, who.
Well, he works hard, doesn't he, Harper?
Harper's, and I really like. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah.
But Mitchell's miles ahead of him.
Yeah.
In every sense, you know.
Yeah.
And we lost the threat of the outlet that you know that the outlet of Mitchell provides, and also just a bit more kind of nous.
Yeah.
You know.
That's exactly right.
And ultimately, Harper, you know, a goal comes which Harper could have done better for. You know?
Yeah. So second half, they come out straight away, storming out, don't they?
They really do.
49th minute.
They're all over us at this point, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lovely goal. You're right, Harper.
Is this this is the Harper one, isn't it? So, yeah, he's got to show him down the outside. So this guy, what's his name again? Number 10, isn't it?
Yeah. Was this Rogers? It was Rogers, wasn't it?
Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of a goal. As good as Trevitt's in a different way, isn't it?
Lovely curling finish, yeah. Really nice.
No way Sinisala's getting there.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, but...
Well, you think...
But Harper should have showed him down the outside.
It's disappointing, isn't it? you
feel like Mitchell would have done, you know?
They're going to get frustrated if you keep them going a bit longer.
Yeah.
But there we are. There it was. 1-1.
Yeah. Then the onslaught continues.
The onslaught continues, and 10 minutes later they get another one, 2-1.
This one is bad, and like I said, it was a shame because Fitzwater was having such a good game, but what he's done here is give away a goal and get injured at the same time, and just both are his fault. The injury's his fault, and the goal is his fault.
Yeah.
He just takes too long, he just got to put his foot through it, just boot it away, doesn't realise there's a guy right behind him who nicks the ball off him, and he kicks the back of his leg and hurts himself and has to go off in the process, and they score.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, you know, like I said, overall the performance was good, and we lost to a better team, but the manner of kind of both those goals, less so the first one, but that one especially is a bit like...
Well, it's kind of 3 avoidable goals, isn't it, in a sense?
They are, really, yeah.
Not avoidable in the sense of, like, they probably would have scored other goals, but those 3 instances...
Yeah.
Anyway, the injury to Fitzwater makes Colwell have to make the change of Diabate. Good to see him back.
Checks back, and it played brilliantly.
Yes, agreed.
And I was suddenly, you know, you're starting to forget about Czech, and you're worried that, you know, like... Has he got a place in this team? You know, is he ever going to be fit properly? But it looks encouraging to me against a team who are piling forward on us at this, at this point to try and win the match.
Yeah.
And I thought he did really well and looked really confident and assured, and it's brilliant to see him back in there. I mean, everyone loves Czech, don't they? Do you mean? And I think that could be really important for us, given that we've just been kind of we've kind of had 4 players taking up those 3 roles.
Yeah.
Maybe Jules a little bit as well. He's sort of done it on occasion. But to have another option in there and a bit of competition and someone who's, you know, a good young player, it's good, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, at the same time, Musgrave, by the way, has worked really hard in that first half, but had little success.
Well, I think... that's
I think
true.
we're seeing something about him.
He wasn't too bad. He had a few kind of,
good touches.
A few kind of like held up the ball well on occasion, flicked it on well on occasion, and I thought he did. And he worked his socks off, and so did James Scott. Scott worked really hard, especially the first half. And some people were saying he didn't, and he was lazy, but I don't agree with that. I think he was really putting himself about. There's just, with Scott, it's a shame. Why doesn't he jump for any balls?
It's this
when he
mysterious
did,
thing
he did knock a couple on.
Yeah.
But most of the time he doesn't do it. I get that maybe you're trying to win the foul or trying to, you know, put them off winning the header by just kind of standing still or whatever. I mean, pick up the second ball. But it's frustrating. It was a frustrating watch for Scott last night. And I think, to be honest, I mean, yeah, signs of life from Musgrave, but them two as our only strikers now that Cox has gone on loan is not going to be anywhere near good enough for this season. There's no way.
No, but don't worry.
They won't get 4 goals between them, you know, the way they're playing now.
Well, don't worry, Dan, because we've got Exeter City's answer to Bradley Cooper in the film A Star Is Born. Yannick Wildschut, who's really embracing that, like, wild man in his 30s look. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm unkempt, and yet I'm very kempt.
Rugged.
He's rugged, but he's thought about it. He's rugged and preened.
Is he preened?
I'd say he's preened, isn't he?
I don't think he's preened.
Is he no preen?
I think he's just rugged.
Preen free.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe, but he's got that air of like Hollywood about him, hasn't he?
I'm not seeing that.
No.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, on he comes.
Handsome man.
Handsome man. He came on. He did really well.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah.
He did.
Similar job that he did against Lincoln.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good option to kind of like to. But again, he's not gonna score as many goals. We're a team that needs a dangerous striker, and he is not the answer to that.
No.
Conundrum.
He used to play for Middlesbrough, didn't he? Anyway,
Did he?
have you seen what he looks like on FIFA?
Right. Yeah,
Mad.
very strange.
Anyway, he came on, and between him and Jules and Harper, actually, they started causing, and Scott, we slowly started looking like some possession.
Partridge, a lot of it was going down that left-hand
That's
side
true
where
as well,
Wiltshire were, and Partridge was working the ball really well, and yeah. And then we got a goal. Another goal.
I mean...
Ryan Trevitt again. Takes a very slight deflection, which does take it away from the keeper slightly. But, I don't know if the keeper's getting there anyway, but it's, Big Bank goes wild. Wild.
It was wild. What this is proof of is just have a go sometimes, lads.
Yeah.
Trevitt's first goal, it was, you'd say probably won't go in, but did go,
I'd say for Ryan Trevitt at this point, it's worth always having a shot if you get the opportunity even slightly to do so.
Yeah.
Because he's beaten a championship keeper there twice from outside the box, So just, given that we're short on goals generally, if there's ever an opportunity for Ryan Trevitt to hit it, he should take it.
Absolutely. Because
it's probably our best. But again, that's problematic of itself. We're relying on a 20-year-old low-knee central midfielder for all of our goals, which we are at the moment. He's the only person that's scored in months. That is a worry.
Agreed.
But better than no one scoring. But yeah.
Also agreed. And I think Scott does make space for people. And I think Wildschut coming on and Harper or Mitchell running a lot does cause panic. And if you can then harness that by testing the keeper, and I don't just mean Trevitt, just test the keeper a bit.
Yeah, this is the point is completely valid. However, it won't be anywhere near enough. We have to sign another striker.
Absolutely.
There's no two ways about it. And we'll be in danger of going down. We can't go no, it's all right. We've got Ryan Trevitt to hit from outside the box.
No.
Or Mitchell might hit the target.
Honestly, I'd be looking to buy two strikers, because I think Musquay, even if he comes good a bit, he ain't getting a lot of goals. Scott, as we know, he can hit some. He might get 5 or 6 this year. He's not getting a lot of goals. We cannot put all our eggs into one basket and think we'll spend £1 million on this player. I'd be looking to spend a lot on one player, and I'd be looking to pick up a non-league player, striker, prolific one.
Yeah, because they're big asks, aren't they? But I think needs must.
What's going to happen here is we'll come to June again. Let's say we manage to sort it out and good things happen, and we bring in the right player on loan, or one good player, or we buy them and they're here for us in the rest of the season, and we got them for next season as well. We need more than that. We need, there's injuries, there's international call-ups, which seems to be a thing these days. There's just someone at the chance of non-base style getting poached. We've got to fill our coffers with some quality strike force.
Yeah, we have.
Anyway, more on all this stuff in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. You might be thinking our cup run's over. Well, no, friends. Long live the cup run. It's the FA Cup on Saturday.
This is the real quiz.
The real cup.
Yeah.
Against recent winners of said cup, Wigan Athletic, Coldwell's Athletic, back again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hardly
we
a
just
glamour
played
tie.
them the other day and
Yeah.
they beat us at home. I suppose,
We can't be as bad. We were
a
awful
little
in
bit
that
of
one.
subtext in there. Gary Caldwell used to play for Wigan,
Yeah.
and not only that, also won the FA Cup with Wigan, and now we must play them in that competition.
Yeah.
We need some kind of, I don't know what the kind of the fable is here, but something to do with, this guy who was a hero in one thing, but now has moved on, and now he needs to defeat his old team. I don't know, there's no comparable.
No. I mean, it's a shame in a sense it's not the league.
Yeah.
After some good football, and we were buoyed certainly by last night.
We are now, just as we've not even reached the end of the last injury crisis, have now moved into another injury crisis where we didn't even mention last night. Jake Richards came on, and by the way, he looks good. Then he's going to be good, him, but he's young,
very young,
not ideal. There's some people on the bench I genuinely never heard of.
Who was on the bench?
Well, Dean.
Oh,
and I was like,
Will Dean.
Pretty sure Will Dean left about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Yeah.
The other one's like, there's Alfie Cunningham. I've heard of him, and there's obviously no Jake Richards. And then I was like, who's Dean? Went on the Exeter City website.
Yeah.
The squad section. Tom Dean.
Oh.
Hasn't got a photo.
Right.
On the website of him even. Don't know anything about him, but he's on the bench.
Okay.
Don't know. All I know is he's not a goalkeeper.
Okay.
That's what I can tell you. But yeah, so there's Watts is out for we don't know how long.
Yeah.
Reece. Cole's out for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Niskanen's still injured. Tom Carroll, who knows? Aitchison got the knock. He might be back. Cobble suggests he might be back. Mitchell's out. Fitzwater went off injured.
Yeah. Rankin
is now have been told that he's returning to us on the 8th of November.
Okay.
Something like that.
So presumably that means he's ready to go when he comes back, does it?
He can't be far off. I suppose that he comes back to training, whether he's ready to kind of go into a competitive match at that point, probably not, but that's when he's able to kind of return, I guess, return to like full training.
Yeah, okay.
Is that it, or is there more?
It's the end of my list.
Right, that's still a lot though, isn't it?
It's a lot. On the plus side, Kyle Taylor started yesterday and played 70 minutes. And
I think he must be ready to do full games, Kyle Taylor, now. To me, it looked like, I think it was tactical bringing him off last night. Or just kind of, he runs around so much and it was such an intense role for him to play. But yeah, so that's good. Check, that's good.
Sweeney was only actually suspended, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Wigan again. I mean, it's got to be better than the other day. I think, like I said, we've had a little cup run now. If we went out, I wouldn't be gutted for any other, but I do think it'd be bad for our kind of momentum and I think it'd be a setback if we lose this, mentally.
If we go and win 2-0
for the supporters and for the team,
if we go and win 2-0 and everyone feels good about it, and when there's no more injuries, lovely. We can then attack the league a bit more. There's only a couple of weeks before the second round of the cup again, isn't there? But it just gives a bit of keep this going. That's a draw. That's an unlucky defeat against a much better team. Then a win. We'd feel like okay, turned the corner.
Definitely, yeah.
And then we start. I mean, it's November now. Happy November to you.
Thank you. Fireworks night.
So coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then other things. My mum's birthday.
Yeah.
Then it's December.
Not much goes on in November, does it really? Apart from Guy Fawkes night.
Remembrance Day.
Yeah, we've already had that.
Have we?
Yeah.
No, we've had the bugle at.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Well, what else is?
But we actually have November the 11th, Remembrance Day.
Yes, but I mean, no one. The only thing, as far for me,
yes,
Remembrance Day consists of them putting the reefs down.
Yeah.
everyone doing the silence and matey playing the bugle,
Yeah.
then it's over. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what date it's on because that's the only thing that happens.
Fine.
You know,
Got ya.
I'm not like decorating my house and having like a big lunch. You know.
No, fair enough.
Worth talking about, I suppose. Did the album version again, didn't they, of the last
Well,
post?
I don't know. I was shut out.
Oh yeah, you weren't allowed in because you were late.
Oh,
it
no.
serves you right. You can't be clunking through a turnstile in the middle of the minute silence.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, what you think you should be allowed to clunk through the?
I don't know if the benefit of 20 of us being shut out while the man in the turnstile stands there somberly makes much sense. But I suppose it does allow them to remember if they want to. But this isn't actual Remembrance Day. This is just football's recognition of it. I'm probably getting myself into deep water here, but it all felt slightly strange.
Well, of course, it's absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
I was there with 2 Irish friends of mine,
Yeah.
a brother's fiance and a friend, and they found the whole experience very strange.
I'm sure they did, yeah.
Having not been going to football and being Irish. What I like about it is they've got a second guy in.
Second
The
bugler.
bugler has got the second bugler. Because a couple of years ago, I don't know if anyone remembers, he really kind of fluffed it and it was very funny. And they can't have that.
Can't
Not
laugh.
during the somber bit.
No.
You can't be having... So, I don't know. I'm not knocking him. I'm sure the bugle was very difficult to play.
Mm.
I played a bit of trumpet back when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You ever played any brass?
No, never have.
Never?
Never.
Um,
I haven't got the lip power.
right.
These lips were made for kissing.
Right. Well, it should be a transferable skill, shouldn't it?
Oh, well, you're lucky girlfriends.
This served me well throughout my adolescence.
Good to know.
But I think the bugle, I don't know, hasn't got any vowels, has it? So you just got it's all in the lips.
Yeah. Much like romance.
But then they got a second guy in to kind of like, it's a bit like when Paul McCartney played at Glastonbury last year, and they got the drummer singing along with him the whole way. So if McCartney can't hit a note,
Yes.
don't worry because he's
got your back up.
doubled up.
Yeah.
So they doubled up on bugles, but yeah.
Anyway, that was that. There won't be any of that. Why are we talking about this? Because nothing happens in November. What I'm saying is, it isn't that long till January. I know there's still loads of
It's a
games.
lot of games.
But I really hope they've got a plan. That's what I'm saying. We're 2 months away. We want to have someone who can sign on January the 1st.
I hope they're working.
Do you know what I mean?
Because they've massively, massively dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Around the non-bay situation, around this lad from Fulham situation, the whole thing, the emergency signings at the end, there's been some positive stuff, and I don't think Wiltshire is as bad as some people do, and Caleb Watts looks okay.
Yeah.
That's just not the situation you want to be in, where you're picking up kind of whoever's left over without a club for whatever reason. And if you look at this, you think, well, Wiltshire is, past his best, clearly, and Caleb Watts seems to be injured every 5 minutes. So that's probably the reason why they were free agents.
Yeah. They're fine as squad fillers.
They're okay, but
what
if you had a better plan, there's a better use of those wages.
Yeah. And we downgrade, like we knew we might end up downgrading
massively,
on
massively
and
downgraded.
Brown.
But in a way, when we signed those players, Stansfield aside, Nombe and Giovanni Brown weren't massively high-profile signings.
No.
Brown especially. He was kind of, someone who hadn't done very well in recent times and then massively progressed under us. Same with Nombe.
Fair comment. However, we've had some perfectly good players in the squad last season who've gone, who actually...
Yeah, you have to replace the player they are when they leave, not the player they were when they arrived.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the ones that would be difficult to replace, like Brown and Nombe, who are in demand. I'm talking about, like, Jake Caprice went, who no one was like, he's our greatest player, but actually, we've downgraded on his position.
Do you think?
Yeah. Don't you?
No,
as in, like,
I don't think we have, because we've signed Niskanen and Rankin in that position.
Yeah, okay.
And both of them are better than Jake Caprice.
All right, that's fair.
They just
We
happen to be injured.
didn't expect to lose both of them.
We've got
Caprice is a second choice.
We've got
on what
unlucky.
We've currently got, or a third
Jake
choice.
Caprice And all our lads from last season, the ones that went to Burton, none of them are playing for Burton. And since they've stopped playing any of them at any point, Burton have massively picked up. So
Yes.
I feel kind of vindicated.
Okay, all right, fair enough. It just, what we've said all along is we've ballsed it right up. We had a massive clear out without having a massive clear in.
I only think I'm only really down on the striker situation. I think in the other areas we've either kind of traded for a decent replacement, or we've upgraded. In fact,
Okay, all right, fair enough. But I really,
apart from maybe it's Fitzwater, who is I haven't seen enough of him yet to decide. I think sometimes he looks like he's really good, and maybe he is. In fact, I was saying to you last night, wasn't I, that like you never know. Just sometimes a new player will come in, and you think, this guy could be the new Sweeney. You never know. In 10 years' time, we'll be going like, club legend Jack Fitzwater. Is that even his name?
Yeah.
Or he could be gone in 9 months, and we'd forget that he even existed.
Yeah, indeed. But please, to goodness sake,
I hope the plan's in place.
I
really hope it is.
And don't leave it dragging on. Like,
no, because there's games in January we need them for. Yeah.
We'll see, but I hope we can turn the corner enough to pick up enough points to feel like in January we're in a better position then than we are now. But nevertheless, that can't whitewash over what's missing in that squad.
No. Yeah.
You'd hope that we can get 10 more points between now and January the 1st.
I haven't looked at all our fixtures, but that must be achievable.
There's enough games and there's enough. It's not like, I was just talking to my friend at work this morning. We've lost all those very excellent teams. They've gone, the ones that you'd never get a point off of.
Yeah, like there's still good teams in and around there, isn't there? Yeah, but you're right. Like, it's not like it's
Lincoln in 8th or whatever. We got a point off. We should be.
Yeah.
Most teams we should be able to get points off, certainly at home. But yeah, let's say we get to January the 1st with nearly 30 points on the board. That doesn't mean we're all right. That doesn't mean that's okay.
No, and that should have absolutely no bearing on the transfer situation. Whatever we do, even if we win every single game and Musgrave scores in every single match, I'd still want us to sign a striker.
And I think we should be looking to spend as much as Nombe went for, if we have to. Obviously, if you can get a bargain, great.
We're going to have to pay over the odds, aren't we, in January or whatever, but I think...
That's our fault for...
You just got to do it. Yeah, you have to correct the mistake, like there was a mistake made there. It was a massive cock-up, and we have to pay for it.
Yeah.
We have to pay for that mistake because that's just the way it goes. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble.
Okay, well...
We'll spend our way out of trouble.
I mean, we're not going to go mad, are we? But
yeah, let's go mad.
But there's money in the bank, which we didn't know we were going to have.
Yeah.
And League Two...
I don't know, flog some of that shit from the museum if we have to. Like, just get money.
That'll bring it all in.
You've seen how much some of those old kits go for
true.
On eBay.
That's true. That'll pay.
Every little helps.
Let's see what they do. Wigan, I'd hope we get a win in the Cup. I'd like to see us in the second round of the Cup. And I just think you're right.
I think we actually quite importantly need a win on Saturday.
That's right.
Importantly.
Yeah, well, whatever the word is, that's what we need.
We really, I think we do just for, the vibes. Don't underestimate the vibes.
No, never. No, because as we've seen, it's basically the same team, the same way of playing. We've fallen apart. Gone from top of the league to...
Bottom of the league.
Bottom quarter.
Yeah.
Because then if we can get ready for Fleetwood...
Yes.
Then that's away the following weekend. Then you feel like, okay, that's all right. Because they're a relegation rival, as it were.
Yes.
We should be able to go there and get the 3 points and think to ourselves, okay, that's another step towards safety.
Yeah, but if we get battered or lose and don't perform well on Saturday, then I won't be optimistic going into Fleetwood away,
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week after the Wigan game.
Yeah, just a normal one this week, isn't it?
No normal one-game week.
FA Cup special next week, isn't it, from us?
Sure. Why not? I'll have made a cup out of tinfoil.
Yeah.
I'll have a picture.
We're talking about all things FA Cup. Hopefully, we'll be in the hat for the next round.
We'll be in the sterile bowl.
What is this? The first round?
Yeah, first round proper.
First round proper.
So there's some very non-league teams in there. There's League One and League Two. It's just like getting through it, isn't it?
Yeah. And a little sprinkle of magic.
Little sprinkle of magic. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.